Sondag, 14 Julie, is Haai-bewusmakingsdag. En ons gesels vanmôre met 'n branderplankryer wat 'n haai-aanval oorleef het. Ons gesels met Swanepoel. Hy het onlangs 'n kortfilm, Beyond the Bite, vrygestel. En ons gaan vanoggend by hom hoor hoe sy storie loop en hoe dit met hom gaan. Good morning, Caleb.
Morning. How's it going, guys?
Nice. Lovely to speak to you, Caleb. Let's start at the very beginning. That's like a song from Sound of Music.
Yes.
Let's start at the beginning, Caleb. Obviously, there's a backstory to the movie that you just released. Let's talk about the backstory. You're a surfer and you were attacked. You were attacked by a shark.
Yeah, that's correct. So the story started 9 years ago. I was 20 years old at the time, 2015. I was in Knysna, Buffalo Bay, and I was just body surfing with my brothers. So everyone thinks shark attack, you must have been a surfer. I was just body surfing with my brothers. So I wasn't a surfer before I lost my leg, but in the water, saw a great white, started swimming towards the beach, and this shark just came for me, took my whole right leg off above the knee, and my brother actually pulled me out of the water and saved my life. So it's been an interesting journey with a swagger since then, but really grateful to be here. And yeah, my life and my relationship with the ocean's obviously changed a lot since that day. I would say I've gotten closer to the ocean and learned more about the ocean since my shark attack. And I was never disabled before I lost my leg. I know that's obvious, but the world of disability and parasport and people's stories and this whole world of of other narratives that are adjacent to ours have become apparent to me. So I've been really, really grateful to be on a learning journey, as well as one of being able to share my story and using it to inspire others, but also change perception around what sharks mean for us in our oceans.
Caleb, you're obviously quite upbeat now about it, but once that happened, tell us what happens, emotionally and mentally, like that journey that you go through, that adjustment must have been really hard for you.
It is very, very difficult. I would still say today, 9 years later, there's still things that I'm processing, things that I have to make friends with and come to terms with. And I think in the beginning, it was a massive shock for me. My whole body obviously changed. I was someone who ran a lot, who exercised a lot. So not being able to do that all of a sudden, and now also, having a new identity, a rebirth, I would say, has been challenging. I'm not going to lie. And I think, day one to day, I don't know what it is now. There's lots of growth and there's lots of things I've been able to process, but I'm not going to lie, I do miss my leg. I do miss my leg. And I think it's important to be honest about those feelings and where you're at in your life. But I think I've been very, very lucky that I had great medical assistance. The NSRI who rescued me were unbelievable in helping save my life. My femoral artery actually went into spasm. If that hadn't happened, I would have bled out within 2 minutes. So, I think that's the first thing I'm grateful for is to firstly be alive. But then, life carries on. You've got to wake up every morning and carry on with your day. And I think it's coming to terms with that and making friends with that I've slowly been more honest about where my feelings are when it comes to this journey. It's not all sunshine and roses, but everyone has things that they have to process. And I think, the thing about trauma and stories and survival stories is that everyone can relate in some way. I can relate to someone else in their story, even if they haven't necessarily experienced the shark attack. It's quite a rare thing to experience. So I think in a way it's brought me closer to other people's stories and brought me closer to others as well.
How long did it take you to get back into the water?
Back into the water, I sort of hopped in a few weeks later, holding onto my brother's shoulders, and I went in, I think, as soon as my stitches were out. So I was encouraged by other survivors and my family to really not let the ocean become this place of fear. It wasn't necessarily going back and going deep again, but I remember hopping in as soon as my stitches were out. So it was maybe a month later, I was back in the ocean, just to feel the salt water on my body and just to remind myself that although this is part of my story, it's not the fully defining moments of my life. There's still 3/4 of me here, and there's still a big heart and a big soul. So, we got to carry on.
That's fascinating. You say it's not the end of your life, and it's very important to remember that. I mean, through the process, you obviously had people with you, supporting you, helping you, mentors or inspirational people around you. But where did you find your inspiration? Who helped you through this period of recovery, and especially going through, and the movie obviously tells the story, but going towards the movie as well, and taking that decision to make a movie.
Yeah, so the first thing I would say was my family. They were and are unbelievable, and I want to send them lots of love wherever they are in the world, all over the place. My mother was unbelievable. She took me to university every single morning and took me to rehabilitation for my leg every single day. My brother took over my mom's school for her, Joshua. So, I had lots of support from my family. And then I started finding coaches and mentors, back when I got back to varsity. I went back to my acting studies. So I had, mentors there that helped me continue. And then ocean people started pitching up and started pulling me back into the space that's, obviously changed my life. So one of them is Tasha and Tasti, my surfing coach, and I would say now chosen tribe and sister. And speaking about the film, Lee Deneka, the marine biologist on this project and who's part of Wild Trust and in this film with me, she's my friend and she works with Wild Trust, and slowly our relationship developed over the years. And I spoke to her about wanting to get more involved with using my story in a positive way, especially for sharks, because, they stay below the ocean and they don't really get there's no one speaking for them. And she was someone who encouraged me and really, provided a really safe space for me in this process. And together with Wild Trust, they approached me and said, look, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about going back into the ocean? We know you want to help protect sharks. Do you want to swim with sharks again? Yes or no? And we're here with you all the way. So no one forced me to do this. I was very, very voluntary in the process. But, Lee and the whole Wild Trust team and Love Africa marketing team behind this film were and are unbelievable. And the film it's a short film. It's under 10 minutes, but it really encapsulates a lot. I was definitely nervous going back into the water and swimming with sharks again, because it had been 9 years. But I think with the right team and the right people, anything is possible. And this little project is a testament to that.
Wow. What do you want to tell people with this film, like especially about sharks and stuff? Because I think sharks get a bad rap. We watch Jaws, we hear about shark attacks, and immediately everyone goes, "Oh, sharks are evil," kind of thing. So, what is the message with this film? What would you like to tell people about the ocean?
So I think the first thing is that if you breathe in and you breathe out and you breathe in and you breathe out, your second breath has come from the ocean. We think that sometimes all the oxygen and life comes from trees and from the land, but the ocean produces every second breath we take. And without sharks in our oceans, our ecosystems in the oceans collapse. So we need sharks. And we need to respect sharks, and we need to respect our oceans. And that includes everything that's in the ocean. So as a shark attack survivor, I want to change the way people see sharks, change the negative perceptions that people have around sharks, because then that infiltrates into everything in our behavior around how we spend time in the ocean, but also how we speak about these creatures. So, sharks aren't these man hunters, these man eaters that are out to get us. I was in the shark's territory. I was in the shark space. And I think respect for the ocean and respect for sharks is the first thing. And then get involved, watch the film. You can support the Facebook and the Instagram campaigns, and you can support Wild Trust, and you can make a difference in a small way. I think we're all responsible. I think that's another important thing, that even if we don't spend time in the ocean, we use the ocean because the ocean gives us life. So that's the big message behind this film, is that without sharks, we don't have life.
Yeah, it's interesting. People tend to vilify sharks, but everyone loves a lion, and it's also an apex predator. So it doesn't,
or a rhino.
It doesn't make sense.
But
It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, Caleb, where can we see this movie?
So Facebook and Instagram, you can go to Sharks Under Attack campaign on Facebook, as well as Sharks Under Attack campaign on Instagram, as well as Caleb Swanepoel. You can go to my Instagram. You'll see the films at the top of my Instagram page. And you can also go to the Wild Trust, wildtrust.co.za. You can look at all the campaigns that they're running, and you can see the film there.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Caleb, for joining us this morning. Lovely story. So inspiring. Thank you for what you are doing and the awareness you are creating. And yeah, I'm on your side. Honestly, you won me over again. This morning I was negative about a shark. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have been.
Well, listen, maybe you and I can go for a little surf sometime, maybe a little open water swim. But just want to say thank you to both of you. It's really awesome that there's platforms like this that care about the ocean, that care about nature, and care about saving this planet. So I feel really humbled and blessed to be here today to share my story. It's a privilege, and going to go away with good vibes. So thank you so much.
And it's been a privilege talking to you. Thank you so much. Dis Caleb Swanepoel. Kyk gerus die movie Caleb Beyond the Bite. Dis op sosiale media. Gaan sommer na sy Instagram rekening toe, Caleb met 'n C, nee, Caleb Swanepoel, en dan kan jy dit daar kry. Nou ja, interessante storie. Is nie so kwaad wees vir die haai.